In the summer of 1940, the sky is over. Britain turned into a battleground, unlike any seen before in human history. The green pastures, quiet towns, and coastal cliffs bore witness to the relentless echo of propellers and the thunder of gunfire above. It was not a war of trenches, nor a clash of tanks, but a fierce contest for control of the sky itself. And at its heart were young men, barely out of school, strapped into fragile machines of metal, fire and faith. Prologue: The calm before the storm. 16-year-old William Hawthorne had just finished his tea when he looked up at the sky from his family's small cottage in Kent. It was a peaceful morning, the kind only the English countryside could offer. His brother James, 4 years older and proudly wearing his RAF uniform, ruffled his hair. "You'll be up there one day, Will, but not yet." "Not while I'm fighting for you," Will smiled. He idolized James, strong, smart, and always full of stories about Spitfires and hurricanes, dogfights, and the camaraderie of the RAF pilots. But the skies that day were about to change. Hitler's plan, Operation Sea Lion. After the fall of France, Adolf Hitler turned his eyes toward Britain. But invading the island nation required air superiority. The German Luftwaffe, confident in its numbers and might, launched Operation Sea Lion, an all-out aerial campaign to destroy the Royal Air Force and cripple British morale. What the Nazis didn't count on was the tenacity of the RAF and the courage of a few thousand pilots who would become legends. Never was so much owed. James was stationed at Biggin Hill, one of the most critical RAF bases. The air was thick with tension. Every morning began with scrambled eggs and nervous glances at the radar boards. Every hour brought alarms, takeoffs, and prayers. Up in the air it was chaos. Dogfights broke out above the channel. Squadrons clashed in formations. Spitfires twirled like angry hornets, while German Messerschmitts darted and dove with deadly intent. Flames, black smoke, and falling metal littered the clouds. James saw friends vanish in midair, torn apart by gunfire. He saw planes explode next to him. He saw victory. He saw hell. A mother's grief, a nation's resolve. Back in Kent, Mrs. Hawthorne held her breath every time the mailman arrived. The sound of planes overhead no longer brought pride, it brought fear. Then one September evening, the telegram arrived. James was listed as missing in action. Will felt like the world had stopped. He stared at the sky, hoping, willing to see his brother's Spitfire return. But war gives no guarantees. The Blitz begins. Frustrated by the RAF's resilience, Hitler changed tactics. He ordered the Luftwaffe to bomb London into submission. From September 1940 onward, the Blitz began. Night after night, German bombers painted the skies red. Children were evacuated. Civilians took shelter in subway stations. Fires raged. Families wept. Yet the spirit of the British people refused to break. Winston Churchill's voice echoed across radios and hearts. "We shall fight on the beaches. We shall never surrender." And above the burning city, the RAF still flew. The turn of the tide. Despite being outnumbered, the RAF fought with brilliant tactics. Radar technology, clever maneuvering, and unwavering morale turned the tide. The British pilots, many barely 20, fought with everything they had. In October 1940, the Luftwaffe began to falter. Losses mounted. German morale dipped. Hitler postponed and then quietly abandoned the invasion of Britain. The skies grew quieter. The return. In early November, as the country began rebuilding from the Blitz, the Hawthornes received another letter. James was alive. Wounded, burned, but alive. He had parachuted out of his Spitfire and was rescued by a fishing boat. After weeks in a military hospital, he was being sent home. The reunion was tearful. Will hugged his brother like he'd never let go. Epilogue: A sky worth saving. William would later join the RAF himself. Inspired by his brother and the bravery of the few, he became one of them. The Battle of Britain was more than an air campaign. It was a symbol of resistance, of sacrifice, of courage, and it taught the world a powerful truth. Even when the sky is at war, the human spirit can soar.